Every few years, a headline appears. Yellowstone is overdue. Yellowstone is waking up. Scientists are worried. And every time, millions of people click, read, share, panic. And then, nothing happens. Here's the thing. Almost everything you've read about Yellowstone is wrong. The doom is exaggerated. The timeline is misunderstood. And the actual truth, what Yellowstone really is, what it's actually doing right now, and what would genuinely happen if it erupted, is so much stranger and more terrifying than any headline has ever told you. Yellowstone is not a volcano. Not in the way most people picture one. There is no mountain, no cone, no visible crater waiting to blow. Yellowstone is a supervolcano. And the difference between a regular volcano and a supervolcano is not a matter of degree. It's a matter of category. A regular volcano builds upward. A supervolcano doesn't build at all. It just exists silently, as a vast reservoir of magma sitting beneath the surface, pressurizing over thousands of years, until one day the ground above it doesn't erupt. It collapses. The entire roof of the magma chamber falls inward, and in that moment, everything above it is simply gone. The last time Yellowstone did this was 640,000 years ago. It expelled 1,000 cubic kilometers of material in a single event. For comparison, the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980, one of the most dramatic volcanic events in modern American history, expelled 1 cubic kilometer. Yellowstone's last eruption was 1,000 times larger. It deposited ash across the entire continental United States. Geologists can still find that ash layer today, thousands of miles from Wyoming, sitting in the rock record like a scar. And Yellowstone has done this not once, not twice, but 3 times. 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, 640,000 years ago. The internet will tell you this means it erupts every 600,000 years and we're overdue. That is not how geology works. Those 3 events are data points, not a schedule. Volcanologists will tell you directly, Yellowstone does not have an eruption cycle. It has an eruption history. Those are completely different things. So, what is actually happening at Yellowstone right now? The ground there is alive. Not metaphorically, literally. The entire Yellowstone caldera, a region roughly 55 miles wide and 45 miles long, rises and falls measurably every year. It breathes. In some years, the ground rises by several centimeters. In other years, it subsides. This is caused by the movement of magma and hydrothermal fluids deep beneath the surface, shifting, circulating, pushing against the crust from below. There are more than 10,000 hydrothermal features in Yellowstone: geysers, hot springs, mud pots, fumaroles. Old Faithful isn't a curiosity, it's a pressure release valve. Every time it erupts, it is expelling superheated water that has been heated by magma sitting miles below the surface. The ground temperature in some parts of Yellowstone is hot enough to boil water just a few inches below the soil. The thermal energy radiating from the Yellowstone system is approximately 40 to 50 milliwatts per square meter, compared to the global average of about 87 milliwatts per square meter globally. Yellowstone's heat output in places exceeds 30,000 milliwatts per square meter. The numbers are almost incomprehensible. And underneath all of it sits a magma reservoir that has been mapped by seismologists using earthquake waves, the same technique used to image the interior of the human body with ultrasound, but applied to the Earth itself. What they found surprised even them. the magma chamber is not a single pocket. It is a sprawling, interconnected system extending from roughly 5 kilometers below the surface down to at least 50 kilometers, connecting to the deep mantle plume that has been feeding Yellowstone for millions of years. The upper chamber alone contains enough magma to fill the Grand Canyon more than 11 times. But here's what the headlines never tell you. Most of that magma is not molten. It's partially crystallized, a state called a mush, somewhere between solid and liquid. For an eruption to happen, that mush needs to be remobilized, heated, destabilized. Current scientific consensus suggests that would take thousands of years of sustained activity, not the weeks or months that doom headlines imply. The USGS, the people who actually monitor Yellowstone, currently classify the probability of a Yellowstone supereruption in any given year at approximately 1 in 730,000. You are more likely to be struck by lightning twice. But none of that means Yellowstone is harmless. The real threat from Yellowstone isn't the supereruption that probably won't happen in our lifetime. The real threat is what it's already doing. Right now, beneath that 55-mile caldera, the hydrothermal system is one of the most volatile and unpredictable geological features on Earth. Hydrothermal explosions, not volcanic eruptions, but steam-driven blasts caused by superheated water flashing instantly to steam, have happened at Yellowstone multiple times in recorded history. In 1989, a hydrothermal explosion at Porkchop Geyser sent rocks flying hundreds of meters. These events require no magma movement at all. They can happen with almost no warning. The earthquakes are constant. Yellowstone sits above one of the most seismically active regions in North America. Between 1,000 and 3,000 earthquakes occur in the Yellowstone region every single year. Most are too small to feel. But in 2017, a swarm of over 2,400 earthquakes hit the region over 3 months, the largest earthquake swarm recorded at Yellowstone in decades. None of them triggered an eruption, but they were a reminder that the system is not dormant. It is not sleeping. It is active, dynamic and monitored 24 hours a day by one of the most advanced geological monitoring networks on the planet. Because if Yellowstone did erupt, not the hydrothermal explosions, not the smaller lava flows that are actually the more statistically likely volcanic outcome, but the full supereruption, the consequences would not be local. The immediate blast radius would destroy everything within roughly 100 kilometers instantly. The pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gas and rock moving at hurricane speeds, would cover most of Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. But the real killer would be the ash. A supereruption at Yellowstone would inject so much material into the atmosphere that sunlight reaching the Earth's surface would be reduced significantly for years. Global temperatures would drop. Agriculture across the northern hemisphere would fail. Not because of fire or explosion, but because of a volcanic winter that could persist for a decade. Some models suggest that a full Yellowstone supereruption would be the most consequential single geological event in human history, which is why 45 scientists monitor it every single day. The instruments are everywhere. Seismometers buried in the ground, GPS sensors measuring millimeter-scale ground deformation, gas sensors measuring sulfur dioxide emissions from hydrothermal vents, satellite radar systems mapping the surface from orbit. Yellowstone is the most watched piece of ground on Earth, and right now every single instrument says the same thing. It's quiet. For now,